What's up, YouTube? It is your boy Lowpes and welcome back to another episode. And today's in a very exciting video. We are working on my 8th gen Civic. So what we are doing on the 8th gen Civic, we are replacing my fuel rail with an awesome new product. And let me show you what it is. Boom, Acuity came out with a fuel rail, and this is for all the K series, and I'm super excited to install it because there's a lot of cool features about Acutity's fuel rail and how detailed they get into installing it and what parts they use. This is a very high quality fuel rail. I'll be replacing my hybrid racing, which I had no issues with, but we're just gonna upgrade a little bit to this guy right here. So I'm gonna show you what comes with the fuel rail and how we're gonna install it. And it's kind of cool to get back into the engine bay of the 8th gen because I haven't done that in a little while. So that's super exciting. Make sure if you want to grab this fuel rail, I have all the information down below and you can purchase it there. Let's get into it. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are. What's really cool about this fuel rail is how detailed everything is. And this is one thing that Acuity has a lot of pride in, is in how detailed they make their products. And I think it's absolutely amazing because a lot of these products, you wouldn't know what the ratings are up to. Like this rates up to 1,000 horsepower, which we're far from, so I don't have to worry about anything. And then you can see all the specs and everything that come with it. And that's what I really like about it. Like, check this out. Don't mind the little rip. I got super excited like a child and I ended up ripping the box a little bit. But these are the contents and what comes with the box. So this is what comes inside. And when you purchase just the fuel rail, it does not come with the fittings. And as you can see, all the specs down below. And once you purchase this on the website, it should have all the specs on it as well. The box is super cool. As you see, what I really like about it is how this thing is packaged. Like, check that out. That is badass. Like, they did a really good job with the packaging here. And let's take out the fuel rail so you can check it out. So I decided to go with the black Acuity fuel rail. It looks really nice. You can put your fuel gauge here. The quality is really nice. And then they have a lot of details here. That's what I like about it. And this is what I've always said, that Acuity is really good with their quality and all the detailing they have. As you can see, they have all the information you need here. Closed end wrench, the gauge port, and this is what I like. Very detailed. And the quality is very nice. The anodized black feels really good. What I really like about this fuel rail also is that it retains the OEM injector clips. That is a good pro and a good plus to the Acuity fuel rail, if you guys are wondering about that. These are the screws that you need. This little guy right here is if you don't have a fuel gauge, and this is just your mounting bolts here. Very nice. And then you have your end plug here as well. And we will be using this guy right here, hopefully. Another pro to one of their fittings here is that they are using ethanol friendly O-rings, so that goes a long way with the quality of your O-ring. I got a different fitting here as well that's just a little smaller, that if you see in size, I will take them out and compare them because the fitment with the fuel rail and the supercharger is really tight. We may have to use this one, we're not 100% sure, but we'll check it out and let me show you right now. What I'm talking about is this right here. So it's really close in fitment, as you see, even with the hybrid one. So we're gonna double check and see which one works for us. Inside the fuel rail box, this is what you'll be receiving. You'll be receiving 2 mounting screws and an NPT plug. So that's the plug for your fuel rail gauge if you don't have one. So you can just put that guy in there. Make sure you get yourself a good set of sealant. So these fittings I got from Acuity as well. Just to be clear, they do not come in the box, so make sure if you need them, you buy them. And I got this guy as well, and then I ended up grabbing this guy too, just in case this guy doesn't work, because that guy's a little thicker. I have a feeling that this may not work, but I got it just in case, because I'd rather run everything that looks the same. But if not, we can use this guy without issue. So something very important that I need to note is when you're putting all your fittings in, make sure you use PTFE sealant, not the tape, because the tape can foul your injectors. So that's a very important point, and I'm going to state this so that you guys do know. Make sure you do that 110%. So the car was running not too long ago, so I'm going to be very careful, and I'm not going to unplug anything to do with the fuel rail as right now, just because we have a bit of pressure in there. So what I'm going to do is unplug the plugs. You just pull and boom, you need to unplug these guys, and just, you'll have 4 of them, and sometimes they could be a bit of a pain, but you should be able to get them out quite easily. And come on, see what I mean? Some of them are a pain. What I like to do is squeeze them and just wiggle them just very lightly, and there we go. So that is loose. So what we're going to have to do when the car does cool down a little bit, we're going to unplug the fuel. So that is just a plug that just runs and you just unplug it. I'll show you guys shortly. And then we're going to take the 2 mounting bolts off. The bay's looking not bad, slowly but surely. We'll get this to a better condition because right now it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst, I guess. So we're going to be removing 1 and 2 screws. They are a number 6 Allen key. This one's just a bit of a tighter position, but you should be okay if you have the fuel gauge there. We've already loosened it pretty easy. I did install this not too long ago, so boom, that is very easy. Now that is loose. What I'm going to do is just take off the ratchet itself, and then I'm just going to loosen this. Just be very careful. I'm on a bit of an angle here just because this gauge. So one sits right there, and the other one sits right over here. Quite easy. And now we have this loose. So we removed these. So now all we have to do is take the fuel injectors out. A little trick a friend of mine which is a mechanic taught me is if you open the fuel cap, like as you're pumping gas, it will release a lot of pressure within the fuel rail and the injector, so you won't get as much as a pressurized pop when you release, you know, your injectors or you release the fuel rail fittings there. So I'm gonna do that now. I suggest you guys do it too. It's a very simple procedure. Just open your gas cap and just unscrew it and just leave it open just so some pressure could be relieved. As you guys see, I put a rag underneath here because when we do remove this, fuel comes out, and I'm just putting a rag underneath on top of my charger here just to keep it safe. Should be fine regardless. We're gonna remove this here, and what you gotta do is you gotta pinch these clips here and you gotta pull, which is just, there you go. Luckily we didn't have too much gas. So we've taken that out, and now the actual plugs just came out quite easily. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. And here we go. This is what we are replacing. And we're gonna put the Acuity one in, and let's continue. This is my ghetto workstation right now. Let's keep this Acuity rail safe for now. We're gonna put it back in this box as we remove what we have to remove from the hybrid racing one. These injectors should literally just pull out. Just be careful pulling them out. Be very gentle with them. And there you go. Or the O-rings as well. You will definitely get some gas on your hands. So, I've taken that out. I'm gonna make sure I don't lose any of these O-rings. What's really cool about the fuel rail is it fits with the Craftworks kit, and a lot of fuel rails don't, only certain ones do. So if anyone that's going supercharged, know that this will fit, and I'll show you how. This little clip right here, make sure you remove it also, because you're gonna need it for your other fuel rail, for the Acuity fuel rail. So this is removing one fuel rail to another, and it just pops out like that. Do not lose it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put back in our injectors. Sometimes you can lubricate it with a bit of gas if they're not going in properly. Make sure you push them all the way in, just because you do not want gas leaking everywhere in your car. So I'm not going to use the fuel rail gauge right now. I'm just going to put the plug in just so you guys can see, just in case none of you guys or some of you guys do not have the gauge. And like this, it's very easy. And if you guys do have it, it's very simple install. You just screw it onto it, so don't worry about it. So we've got the injectors in. Now we're going to put the fittings on the sides, and we're going to get it all together and plug her in and see how she looks. This is one of the fittings that you'll have to get from Acuity as well to work. I've taken the clip out from my old fuel rail there, and I've put it on here because we're going to need that. And this is the exact one I use, just so if you guys need to know. Right there. That is the product number and everything. You know what, I should take it out. Take it out just so you guys can see a little better. That is this right here. One of the fittings that you need. That is all the information you need also. So this is the one I'm using. And once again, we're going to put a bit of thread lock on there. So what I did to install this fitting on this end, I tightened it by hand, and then I put thread lock in it. I used the clip that we took from our old one, and then I used a rag. I went over it like this, and I used the monkey wrench to tighten it as much as I can, just so that you can get a tight fit. And then afterwards, I went the monkey wrench, I just gave it one more turn, just so it can be very secure, and you can do minimal damage. But the grade that they use is a higher grade. It does stand better against, you know, damaging and whatnot. Now we're gonna put the end plug, and I bought two, so I'm gonna test fit the one that usually comes with it, and see if that works. If not, we got a different one that will work. So this is the fitting that we're gonna try first. I have a feeling it might be a little too big, but I hope it works because it'll match and look a lot better. Just so you guys can see, this is the one. For you supercharged guys, this fitting will not work. I just tried it quickly off camera, and we're gonna try the other one I got here. And once again, we're just going to test fit it to see if it works. This one has a smaller profile, so it should work. And let's go see. I'm going to try it out and I'll let you guys know. All right, so after testing it, this fitting definitely does work. The smaller profile makes it fit perfectly, super snug. And we're going to remove this, put some lock thread, and then we're going to tighten it. And it's an Allen key. I'll let you know which one it is. It is a number 8 Allen key. I'm going to use it on a ratchet just so I can get a really snug fit. Once again, this was just test fitted, so I'm going to remove it, put some lock thread. So we put everything in so far. I put in the plug here, tightened it with some thread lock also. And now the last thing we need to do before actually mounting it in is we have to plug the bottom hole because we don't have a center feed. We're going to use this guy we have here and plug it and put that in there and use some thread lock on it. And then we'll be able to get back into the car and plug that in. For this guy here, you're going to need a 7/8 closed wrench. Unfortunately, I lent mine out, so I'm just going to use a monkey wrench to tighten this, and then we'll be able to put it back in. I prematurely put these two in, or the injectors in. I would now, thinking about it now, I would do it at the end after you've put all the fittings on, and then afterwards put them in. So I just removed these two so I can get to this guy, then we'll put those back in, and then we'll put it into the car. Now that we have everything ready to go, I'm going to slip it back into its positioning where it was beforehand, and I am going to align the injectors. And make sure when you put the injectors in, you be very careful. You do not want to screw those up, especially if you have aftermarket expensive injectors, kind of like these guys here. And you just push down firmly and just make sure they go in properly. Afterwards, we're going to use the mounting bolts, and you're going to put it back into the two original positions where they were. All right, so once you have your injectors in, you can clip them back in. For mounting the bolts on, I'm going to put this guy back in. We're going to put that guy in. I'm going to need 2 hands, so I'm going to set you guys down. So we'll put that back in, and then we'll put the mounting bolts, like again, 1 and 2, and that it should be it. So let me do that there just because it's hard to do with one hand, and then I'm going to put the bolts back in here. This does get a little difficult, especially with all these hoses in the way, but it should just clip in just like that. Our last step is to put the mounting bolts back in there. Just remember you have those spacers, so use those as well. And bada bing, bada boom. What I really like about this is the little touches that they have here. I like that silver. I like how this is silver here as well, the end, and how that matches my setup with my valve cover and whatnot. It is looking really, really good. I love it. It looks absolutely badass. I'm so happy to rock this Acuity fuel rail. Make sure if you guys do want it, I have a link down below. You guys can check it out there. My God. The bay definitely needs to be a little cleaner, and I know that, guys, but with these 8gens, are super hard to get a very nice tucked clean bay, but eventually we will. But yeah, check that out. It looks super, super good. I highly recommend it. All right, so that is it. Make sure before you finish up, you turn on your car and you make sure you don't have any leaks. If you do have leaks, go back and put a little more sealant on there so it can close properly. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for Acuity sending this out. You guys are the best. Great quality. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Peace out. Do it once, do it right. Later.